What's up, Dreamedia family? This is Zach and Chase. We're out here in Colorado, and we are your on-the-ground, boots-on-the-ground provider for everything technology related that you need. We're local. We're right here in Vail Valley today in this beautiful home that you recently completed, Chase.
Yeah.
So in today's video, I wanted to put emphasis on power and auto reboot. How we're able to mitigate service calls and ensure your technology stays up and running. This video topic just arose because Chase was telling me how he's seen this home go down, what'd you say, 5 times?
Yeah, since system deployment.
Since system deployment, he's seen the home's power go out 5 times. And he said, I didn't get one call from the homeowner. And I thought, that is a heck of a testimonial. We need to tell the people because that is magic, guys. If us as installers and designers can set up your system in a way to where when you do lose your network or issues arise, say you just have an IP even that's hung up on like an Apple TV and it isn't connecting to the network. Maybe you didn't even lose power. There are systems that Chase, our regional manager here, is putting in place that is ensuring these homes stay up and running with no downtime and really eliminating any frustration or headaches that you may have as a homeowner. So in today's video, we're going to specifically talk about just those topics, your power and your networking, which is really the backbone of a quality control system being set up. In this house, we have a complete, total control URC automation system that can control every single room in this house. But in order for the home to operate efficiently and that control system to work, we need a good backbone. So in today's video, Chase is going to be discussing that. If you guys would like us to outfit your home with anything tech related, or even in this case, solve your tech nightmare, we are here as your go-to provider in Vail Valley. All right, Chase, we're going to get into all the details after the intro. Let's go, guys. Welcome back, Dreamedia family. I'm going to pass it off to Chase, and he's going to give you the lowdown on how fundamentally important these topics are. Over to you, Chase.
Thanks, Zach. So as you may hear Zach saying all the time on our channel, one of our foundational principles that we will not move on is white glove service. And I believe that doesn't just extend to the time when I'm in your home installing, but how well your home functions and how we tackle issues when I'm not around. So in this home, we have a lot of, if you're familiar with the High Rockies, you'll go through this. We have a lot of brownouts, a lot of full power outages, power flickers. We also have very inconsistent service for most ISP providers, just given where we are and how limited resources and techs are. So one way we wanted to avoid problems really starts with the battery and power management. So we have gone with WattBox, powered by Oversee in conjunction with Araknis Networks, also facilitated through the Oversee app. I'd love to pull out my MacBook later and kind of show you what I see and how easy it is for me to control and make sure your home keeps functioning fine. So like Zach said, we've had 5 outages here. A couple of those were power, a couple of those were ISP providers. Typically, when something like that happens in a home this big with so many network devices, you'll run into issues where maybe your iPhone gets back onto the network before your Apple TV or a control platform, then all of a sudden your home breaks and you're waiting for me to come out. So part of the power infrastructure is the self-healing like Zach talked about. So if at any point our main network controller or any subsidiary device, so our most important devices, as we can show in the rack, are wired in hard to an IPv12 WattBox switch, which I can individually reset, as well as set up programming credentials. So what that really does is, let's say the ISP provider Comcast goes down for 1 hour, for a day. Sometimes we have prolonged outages here. The system in the rack is constantly resetting and trying to get the home back online. Not as it just power cycling everything in the rack, but it's doing it in pre-programmed increments to make sure your home boots correctly. So that is the Comcast business modem will boot up. When that guy checks in, and only then it'll resync our router, then our switch, then all of our downstream lines, including Wi-Fi and wired devices. So that just ensures that the system comes back in, every device finds its pre-set IP address. Everything in this home has an assigned IP address that it's locked to outside of the DHCP range. And if you don't know what that means, essentially when you grab your phone and you connect to the Wi-Fi, you get an IP address that's auto-assigned by the router. And it assigns an IP address based on the available DHCP range. So by removing the control, the AV, the lighting from that range that the router can hand out over Wi-Fi, we've basically ensured that there will be no problems with the network reboot, no matter how long there's a power outage and how long there's a network outage at the home. We also have a battery backup in here that's really tailored just for the internet. Both of the homeowners work from home, so when the internet when power goes down, they've also been losing internet in the past. So we've created a 4 to 8 hour bridge, depending on the use of the home at that time, to get you through those power outages while staying online. So if this home loses power, you can't turn on a light, you can't turn on a TV or anything. They stay connected to their Wi-Fi network. So on their laptop, they can keep cruising and never miss a moment of their business operations. And that's something that is dependent on the client. These systems can be configured as you want, but in 2024, I really feel like Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi goes down, the world stops.
Yeah, guys, like I'm gonna just kind of butt in here a little bit because Chase recently, well, I guess it's been several months now.
Yeah.
Time's flying, but he put in a similar system in my own home, and I do Zoom meetings, Google Meets, all of
the world stops when you're offline.
The video conferencing, video calls between everybody. It just never, it's all day long for me. And I'm sure a lot of people that may be watching this video can remember a year back whenever I was really getting frustrated with my home because I continuously was getting kicked out of Zoom meetings because of the power
Even
outages.
a small power outage, then you're taking 15 minutes for the home to get back to a place where you can use it.
Well, yeah, or in some cases it was going down for the whole day. Oh. And then I'm like working in my car in town off the cellular or at a Starbucks or something. And I have this insane AV system at my house and killer Wi-Fi, like why? Why?
Yeah.
You know, I was becoming extremely frustrated, especially because I am the technology guy, right? Yeah. Like I should not have network issues ever. And ever since Chase went through this process, now my network never goes down. I mean, I have not had one outage since. And when I have had outages, but I haven't had a loss in service.
Yeah.
So the other day, prime example, we had an outage in the evening time.
Power outage you're talking about?
Power outage.
Yeah, so power outage.
So we had power outage, and not only was I able to just continue working through, it was actually a 4.5 hour time slot. So
That's
pretty
awesome.
much more than half of my business day would have been lost, or I would have wasted time trying to get into town and get on network. That alone, just that one day of having Wi-Fi when the rest of the neighborhood was down, I was like, this just paid for itself. This is well worth the money. And you also put on my shades. I have wireless shades throughout the entire home on every single window. And now, because the controller for the shades is on the battery backup and the Wi-Fi is still on, the first time our power went out early in the summer, I didn't have the shades on there. And that caused a problem because I woke up and all the shades were stuck down.
Yeah.
They were all down throughout the entire home. And there is a physical button that you can press to get them up, and I had to go through the whole house physically getting them all up. Well,
crawling up on ladders, and yeah.
I'll tell you what, the first time again that happened, power went out and I was able to Wi-Fi was on first thing in the morning and I just put the shades up through Wi-Fi. I didn't have power throughout the rest of the house, but I was able to get my day going, check my emails. Like without Wi-Fi, my life is over. I can't exist as a human being without Wi-Fi because of what I do for a living. And just like this homeowner, same situation. It's becoming more and more common that as professionals, we have to utilize internet to accomplish at home. You know, it is the new standard. Ever since COVID, everybody's working from home, and Wi-Fi is not a quality of life thing. It's a necessity.
Yeah, it's
like
a
requirement.
Water.
So I just wanted to butt in and give my own personal opinion, because even as the company owner, I have seen immense value in these features, and I want to recommend this to every single homeowner, because the first time you lose power, you're going to be texting, calling Chase saying, "You are the man." This is amazing.
Yeah, and like we had talked about with the 5 outages here, no service calls. As soon as those systems go down, I have an email and a text alert that, hey, something's going on at this client's property. And then I can look into it and see, was it power? Was it network? And we're just, by the time you reach me, the problem's been addressed, or we're waiting for
I just love that you said this happened 5 times and the homeowner didn't even call you. That means they didn't even notice a problem. They were still able to operate their home. That's magic.
Yeah.
Because that's what we want, is as many of these homes being self-sufficient, being smart, right? The smart home is really thrown around. Well, a lot of these homes are not smart. They're dumb homes.
They're very fragile.
So we're up here trying to make them really smart.
Yeah, and that's something I love that we've been emphasizing on lately, is a self-healing home. A home that's actually smart, just doesn't have smart components.
Yeah.
Because I can go ahead and unbox everything in this home, not pay attention to the network, not pay attention to battery management, and it'll work for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden your smart home turns into a smart nightmare where nothing works in the home. Then you're digging through trying to find 5, 6 remotes for an AV zone. We don't have that problem. And that's just addressed from the ground up. So when you meet with me, when I come out to your house and I look, you may say, "What's up with the power and network?" That's not the shiny stuff that I'm watching every day.
And
it's
that's
not that fancy end piece.
That's why I wanted to make this video, though.
Yeah.
Because so many people, they're looking for the TVs, the speakers, the subwoofers, the amps, all the cool stuff that, is fun. These aren't necessarily fun components. Like, nobody wants to spend money on these things.
No.
But the first time you use it, does it pay for itself?
And we didn't even talk about how not only is the power self-healing with the network, but it's protecting all these devices in the home.
Yes. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, we have constant power fluctuations where if you have a dip in power and that's getting to an electronic devices get weird when the power structure isn't stable. If they're getting underpowered, it might say it's running.
I mean, how many times have you guys had a device? For me, it was the Apple TV before Chase did all this. The Apple TV was just constantly working. It was displaying, looked like it's pulling an IP address. Like,
no interaction though.
What's wrong with it, right? And if you call Apple, they're like, well, just reboot it.
Yeah,
so you just reboot and I probably rebooted my Apple TVs 300 times, like no lie, in the last couple of years. Like
and we even lost
consistent.
One from those power outages before we got your battery. Thankfully, it was just an Apple TV and not some really expensive amplifier in your rack, but
just imagine,
that's what you're risking.
All these components where you get on the phone with tech support, or your final solution was to reset it, it was probably due to a minor fluctuation that didn't actually kill the component, but just dip it enough to where it lost its IP.
And that can also happen on the network side, where, like you said, where it's pulling an IP, but something's just not right. Maybe the Wi-Fi network isn't handshaking properly. Maybe we're having communication back to the rack issues, where from inside the internal network, it looks okay, but it's not actually making it out to the internet.
Yep.
And we can address that. Every port on our switch is labeled by device and set on if that port on my router can't reach Google, can't reach Bing and Yahoo. So basically I've set in, because a website will go down. Maybe Google has a service outage.
Yep.
I don't want your house rebooting because Google's under maintenance. So basically we set up 3 rock solid pingable addresses as well as the internal router. When all of those have issues, that device is reset either through the WattBox or just the port controlling it. So you may have an Apple TV located 400 feet away from the rack, but it's wired. So I can break that internet connection, reestablish it, and just get rid of those handshake issues.
This may come off as you know, kind of some unknown categories to you guys. We may be speaking gibberish as
we'll show it, and we'll show how everything's labeled.
Yeah, so we're gonna do our best to kind of break down and continue to educate in these territories here in Colorado. Chase is just a wealth of knowledge, and we'd love the opportunity to earn your business. So if you guys are overwhelmed by the information that Chase is providing, feel free to reach out and ask more questions about these topics. But this is one of the most overlooked categories in our industry, but funny enough, it is the most important.
Yeah.
It is the backbone to your system. If it's not done properly, you're gonna be dealing with years of issues for years to come. I mean, it is the biggest problem within our industry. So we're gonna be doing our best to educate consumers, educate new construction home builders on best practices, and really lead the charge and lead the industry in this territory and leveling up our game, right? Raising the bar.
Yeah, for service.
Is the term that I've liked to use.
Here in the High Rockies, where we'll get a several foot snowstorm. What happens if we have a service out or a service issue in a house then?
Oh man.
Then the highway closes, I can't even get out to the client. So these backbones are essential to a properly operating home, and it saves you money long term. If every one of those 5 outages I rolled out here and had to charge for a truck rolling and my time in person, those bills add up.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I've gotten an email, and by the time I have, by the time I can sit down, look into the system, it's already back online and running.
And by introducing these things into our service plan programs, that's also improving the customer satisfaction rate, because although in our VIP Dreamedia Plus service plan, we promise that we're going to resolve the issue within 24 hours with components like this in your system, in many cases it'll be resolved way faster than that. Like if it's Christmas Day, how is somebody going to get out to your home? Well, we're thinking about it so you don't have to. Well, Chase, you have anything else you want to add in on this topic?
I say we dive in and show this baby off.
Yeah, absolutely. So in today's video, we're wrapping up on networking and battery backups, but we are going to dive into this entire home. Chase is going to walk you through this older existing home built in 2015, hasn't been touched in almost a decade, and he brought it up to 2024 standards with a nice URC touchscreen interface as well as phone app, allowing the consumer to control every single room in his home. We do everything from whole house audio, home theater, to these advanced control systems, and of course networking and battery backups. We're here local in Colorado. If you guys are interested in us outfitting your home, working on your new construction or retrofit, remodel, we'd love to get in as soon as possible, guys. Don't hesitate to call us. The earlier you get us in, I don't care if you just got with your architect and you have some blueprints. Planning. It is the key to success with these systems. Consult with our specialist at no cost and get us in on the ground level. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video and found it informative in helping you make a buying decision, as well as gave you some inspiration as to how you can avoid some of these issues on your upcoming or new home. If you guys like this video, be sure to give us a big thumbs up, and don't forget to smash that subscribe button down below for more. Till next time, this is Zach and Chase with Dreamedia. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you on the next one.